and welcome to my kitchen. And as promised, I'm going to be sharing with you today a really great project that you can make a whole bunch of at one time and give as Christmas gifts. Today we're going to be making homemade lip balm. So let's see how we do it. Okay, I want to go over everything before we start. I have actually made 2 batches before we came, and this, I did a plain one. This is just beeswax and coconut oil. It's really nice. I'll show it to you. It's really nice. Looks just like lip balm, because it is. And it's very, very inexpensive to make. And you can make your own labels if you want to. This is going to make great Christmas gifts. And if you have to give to an entire office, you can give this.
Or family.
Or family. But you can give a couple of these or, you know, maybe 4 different ones as a gift all wrapped up together. Or you can give this along with, I have a really great recipe that I'm going to be doing for a sugar and oil lemon hand scrub. It's a beautiful exfoliant and rehydrator for your hands. So this is really lovely. This one I just finished. This is a peppermint one. It's very, very similar to, you know, the guy with the beard and with the little yellow tube that we all know and love.
The bee guy.
The bee guy. But the difference here is that you made it yourself. I'm using beeswax.
It cost a whole lot less to do.
There's 27 tubes of peppermint, beeswax, and coconut oil. Lip balm, and it cost me less than $5 for everything. The beeswax, the coconut oil, the peppermint oil, the vitamin E oil that we put in as a preservative, and the tubes. They're very, very inexpensive. The beeswax, some of you already have your own hives, so all you have to do is purify and filter some beeswax, and we're using about, I'm using an entire ounce today, and that's going to give us between 25 and 30 tubes of beeswax. And one of these...
From an ounce?
Yes. These are half-ounce pastilles. Yes.
The 2 of those will make 25 tubes?
It will.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
That and a half a cup of coconut oil and whatever flavoring or fragrance that you're going to put in there. Now, you cannot use extract. You cannot use anything that isn't all natural and isn't in oil. You have to use everything that's all natural and contains either an oil or a wax. These tubes I bought, and I'll put links down below. The beeswax I bought on eBay, and this is a 3 pound. I think this is a 3 pound. I'd have to weigh it. It's this cost me $22, so I will confirm that for you. It's either a 2 or 3 pound bag. These tubes came with the lids. I bought a package of 100 from Mountain Rose Herbs for $22 again. Everything else I had on hand. I had my coconut oil in my kitchen pantry, and I had essential oil on hand. I did have to buy the vitamin E oil. This is optional, but it does act as a preservative, and I like to put it in there because it is an additional emollient. I have other appropriate essential oils, like I have orange and lemon here. You can do that if you like. But today, I already made plain peppermint. Today we're going to make chocolate peppermint. So what I have here is about 40 chocolate chips, and this is perfectly acceptable. This is really fun to give to kids. If you have teenagers, I think my girls are going to go ahead and give these as Christmas gifts to their friends. So we're going to go ahead and...
So you could do a peanut butter bacon.
Well, you can't use the bacon. I mean, you could use bacon fat, but who wants it's going to be, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't think that'll work. But
chicken.
This is completely optional, this little rack that I have. It does make filling the tubes up a lot easier. And I bought this before I ever made lip balm, and I thought, you know, this just makes sense. I currently have 30 tubes in here. This holds a total of 50. You can just fill it up. You can make a double or a triple batch. I'm going to make a double. I'm making what I consider a double batch to fill between 25 and 30 tubes. And you see some residue in here from the last batch, but the last batch was peppermint, so Since we're making chocolate peppermint, it doesn't matter. And what you see in the measuring cup is just cut off from the last batch. Because we're going to remelt that and reuse it, we're going to try and waste as little as possible. So, let me move this out of the way just briefly. I had, like I said, 2 of those beeswax pastilles, and I'm chopping them up. You can use a box grater. You can melt these whole. It just takes a lot longer, that's all.
So chopping is optional but recommended.
It is. Because the first batch that I did, I didn't cut it up. And it took forever for it to melt. And I'm an impatient person, and I want things done. And my hand is getting in your way.
Yes, always does.
Bad hand. Alright. I'm going to use a half a cup. I have a 1/4 cup measure here. I'm going to put 2 of those in there. This is pure organic coconut oil. You can use olive oil. You can use shea butter oil. You can use, well, shea butter. You can use shea oil. You can use avocado oil. You could use apricot kernel oil. You could use so many different kinds of all-natural oil. It just doesn't matter.
But not vegetable oil.
But not vegetable oil. Absolutely not. The coconut oil I like because coconut oil, in most cases, is solid at room temperature. And then the beeswax goes in here as well. There's really, you know what? There is, you can't screw this up. I'm so not kidding. And I like to use a skewer. I have these nice long skewers to stir with. Just because it's long and it's skinny, and I'm not going to put one of my regular kitchen utensils in here, which I might have a little difficulty getting clean later. This measuring cup, I'm going to get it clean. I'm not bothered by what's in here. So now we're going to go over to the stove, and we're going to add these later. And we have our peppermint oil. And this is just essential oil. You can use like candy oil flavoring. That works too. But this is so much more economical to buy at the health food store like that. So, over to the stove. I have some simmering water over here. And I'm just going to go ahead and put that in there. And we're going to just tend it. I have it over medium heat. And we're going to let it come up to a temperature. We're not going to boil it. We just want the wax to melt. That's it. So we're going to wait for this to melt, and when it's ready, we'll come back.
So it's a cool little double boiler.
It is a cool little double boiler because I have to pour it later, so I need something with a handle.
Okay.
Okay, our wax is just about done melting, and I'm going to add about 1/4 teaspoon of vitamin E oil. This acts as a preservative, and it stops any bacterial growth. And then we're going to have stir that.
About aloe.
I'm not sure. I would have to do a little more research on that. And we're going to add our chocolate chips, which are already starting to become a little melty. And this is a little unconventional, but I know that I have seen it done more than once. And I thought this would be a super fun thing, because who doesn't like, you know, especially teenagers, chocolate and mint. I'm going to go ahead and add several drops of peppermint essential oil. I'm probably going to add about 20 of them. You can add as many or as few as you like, depending on how strong of a flavor you want your peppermint to have. And you just want to make sure that this gets completely incorporated. So really get in there with that skewer and mix it around. I've also seen this done with just cocoa, because cocoa is really a very oily liquid ingredient. Just because it's a powder, it will dissolve. So you could add a tablespoon of cocoa powder in here if you wanted to, in place of the chocolate chips. The chocolate chips, everybody has them on hand for the most part, and they're going to add a little touch of sweetness in here and a little touch of flavor, and kids are going to love this. It is all melted. I'm going to turn my heat off, and I have just a little towel here, and I'm going to wipe off the outside of the measuring cup. And for the most part, the handle is not cold. It's not hot. I'm going to bring this over here. Now, you all know how anal I can be. The one thing I will say is take your time. If you take your time, then you won't spill a lot like that. You know, it doesn't matter because I'll show you.
I didn't get the first one on camera.
I'll show you. Take your time.
The first one was perfect. I didn't get it. So a funnel wouldn't be worth it? A funnel wouldn't be worth it?
It's actually a little bit better if you let it go over just a little bit, because I'll show you why after we're finished. Whoopsie. Of course, the more you spill, the less you're going to have going to the tubes. And you have to clean up after yourself. I'm going to go ahead and turn this. And don't worry about spills. It's just a little bit of beeswax. It's going to clean up just fine. And I'm going to grab my, I'm going to grab a skewer, another skewer. The chocolate chips kind of stuck to the bottom, so don't worry. Just get them in there. It's all good.
So these are going to be more chocolatey.
Probably.
On this side.
Probably. It's all okay. If you don't fill it all the way up and maybe a little bit over, they get a little divot in the top, which is fine because you can just go back and cut it off. We are going to do a little cut off at the end, and I'll show you. It is incredible to me exactly how many of these tubes a little bit of ingredients actually make. That's it. So again, what did I get? I got 28 this time. And it's all good. It's all good. So I'm going to throw this skewer out.
Offset spatula.
Huh?
You need a little offset spatula.
Oh, I have a fix for that. The one thing I will say is do not, under any circumstances, please do not dump the beeswax and coconut oil down your drain. Take a dry paper towel and wipe out your measuring cup before you wash it, because your husband will be very unappreciative of you when the sink backs up and you have to say, well, I don't know what happened. And he goes, are you sure?
I see what you're talking about, the divots.
You see how it kind of sinks down. And this happens when you make candles and all kinds of things. So when you're dealing with a hot wax, a hot oil, or what they call oleogenic compound. That was a big word, Jesse. It's going to, as it cools, the top is going to sink down into itself. And I think one of the reasons in these tubes is, just like with a candle, it sinks down into the center where the wick is. I don't know why it does that, but there's a, you see, there's a little pokey thing in the center, and that's what holds the, when you turn it, that's what holds the little platform that pushes the product up. And that one is broken, so it needs to go in the garbage. But these end up being about 20 cents a piece. So really, I think I figured out that these tubes of chapstick are going to cost you about 80 cents a piece to make. So that's with all of the ingredients. And then if you produce your own beeswax, that price is going to be cut significantly because you won't have to purchase the beeswax. So we're going to let these cool for just a little while. Actually, look, I can show you. I have my trusty bench scraper, and these flexible ones are really awesome for this. But if you take it, you see, you can just clean that mess up really fast. Just like that.
Might I suggest you remelt that and pour it back in here again?
Well, you can do that, but there's not enough there. I'm not going to worry about it.
No, to fill in the holes.
We have a fix for that too.
Oh, okay.
Okay? But we have to wait for it to cool off the whole way, and I'll come back and I'll show you what that fix is. Okay, we're back, and I've gone ahead and removed the lip balm tubes from the little holder, and I'm just starting to do the cutoff. Now, you see how it kind of goes above. Now, you can easily just pop a lid on there. You don't have to cut it off, and some of these you might not want to. Some you can actually back off on the twist and give it a wipe. Just pop the lid on it. I'm moving my hands too much, huh? Sorry. But like this, if you're going to make a second batch, you can just pop it like I did before back into the measuring cup. But I'm not making another batch of this today, so I'm just going to go ahead and wipe it. Like this is kind of ugly. If you take your paring knife and just gently scrape it across the top, you can even that up really nice. Just take a paper towel, give it a little spin, clean it up a little. Pop a cap on that puppy, and then the most important thing is like this one. I went ahead and I put these labels on it, and these are an Avery 5293. They're a little round, 2.5 inch round label, and you can just run, you know, on your computer. You can run these through your computer, and you can tell what's on it. This just says pure beeswax and coconut oil lip balm. And I'll make labels for the rest of these, but like this one I know is the plain peppermint, and I'll label those later. And this one I'll put in a separate bag, and I'll know obviously because today I didn't do another one of this color, so you just want to continue cutting off and wiping, cleaning it up. Like I said, you can back off on that twist a little bit. It just depends on the tube if there's any twist up left in it. And they are homemade, and that is going to be the most important thing here, is that they're homemade. So you want them to look nice, but you don't have to make them look like they were made at the factory, okay? So, and if you can like turn it and scrape it like that, and you're going to go through some paper towels, you know. Oh, okay, that's okay. What? Oh, okay. Alright. Just kind of rest the knife on the edge of the top there. Yeah, you'll figure it out. I was just trying to give you the most information that I could. Pop the cap on and you're done. Now, this is easy to clean up. You just want to wait for it to completely cool, and then you can just scrape this right off. This little spill that happened when we filled up our tubes, and I was a messy pinkman. Did you just eat that?
You can't really taste the chocolate.
It is completely edible.
You can't really taste the chocolate.
It smells like it, though. It smells like chocolate and peppermint. It really does. And this is edible. You don't have to worry about your kids eating it. Or
you can really taste the peppermint.
You can. You can also get essential oil in chocolate, or like I said, you can use cocoa in this if you want. But the chocolate chips everybody seems to have, and if you're not going to be doing this like forever, like tons and tons of lip balm, like I bought all this beeswax because I want to make comfrey oil, or comfrey salve rather. So the lip balm was just a natural progression to that. So, this is how you make fantastic lip balm at home. Super easy. No problem. Very cheap. We made like 70 tubes of lip balm today and spent really less than $10 in materials. So I hope you try this. I hope that you love it. I will put all the links to where you can get these supplies down below. And until next time, happy holidays!